Get ready to explore the other side of wrestling, where controversy and rebellion know no bounds. In the world of combat, not all wrestlers are heroes and icons. Some are real troublemakers, breaking rules and defying any sense of morality. These problematic figures, who stand out more for their controversial actions than for the talent in the ring, have left a mark on the industry in ways no one could have predicted. Want to understand what makes these wrestlers so different? But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the amazing videos we'll be releasing. Jake Atlas, who began his wrestling career in 2016, quickly gained recognition on the independent scene, competing for major promotions such as Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, PWG, GCW, and Ring of Honor. In 2019, the big opportunity came. He signed with WWE and joined the NXT brand. However, his time with the company was not memorable, with Atlas primarily standing out in the cruiserweight division in 205 Live. His biggest match was against Santos Escobar for the Cruiserweight Championship, but he was defeated. In August 2021, after less than 2 years, Jake was released as part of a budget cut round. After his departure from WWE, Atlas worked with GCW and Ring of Honor, but soon announced his retirement. However, in wrestling, no one truly retires, and he made a return 3 months later, appearing on AEW Dark and defeating Serpentico, shortly after being announced as part of AEW. His return was impactful, but luck was not on his side. During a match against Adam Cole on AEW Rampage, Atlas suffered a serious knee injury, sidelining him for much of the year. But the worst was yet to come. In May 2022, Jake Atlas was arrested following an altercation with his boyfriend, which led to domestic assault charges. He publicly apologized, claiming he was under the influence of substances at the time, although he took responsibility for his actions. The charges were dropped, but a video of his arrest, showing embarrassing and disrespectful behavior, began circulating. With his reputation tarnished, his career in AEW came to an end in October 2022, when the company did not renew his contract. Since then, Atlas has distanced himself from wrestling, leaving fans with a lingering sense of what could have been regarding his career. Jack Gallagher, introduced to WWE in 2016 during the Cruiserweight Classic, quickly gained attention by defeating Fabian Eichner in the first round, but was eliminated by Akira Tozawa in the second. His performance earned him a contract with WWE, where he became part of the new Cruiserweight division, making appearances on 205 Live and Monday Night Raw. Gallagher competed in the Royal Rumble, challenged for the Cruiserweight title at Fastlane, and also contended for the UK Championship, but never truly stood out, being more known as the British guy in the division who wasn't Neville. In the following years, despite his efforts, Gallagher failed to make a breakthrough. Rivalries with names like Brian Kendrick, Drew Gulak, and Drake Maverick marked his journey, but losses accumulated, culminating in a negative fan reaction following an incident involving Drake Maverick in 2019. This, coupled with his losing streak, led to a period of absence from TV. When he returned in 2020 with a revamped look and full of tattoos, it seemed like his career would undergo a reinvention. However, the anticipation for a new phase was abruptly interrupted. In June 2020, Gallagher was accused of sexual harassment by a woman as part of the Speaking Out movement. WWE wasted no time in releasing him the same day. Gallagher later spoke out, claiming he didn't remember the incident but took responsibility and apologized. Since his departure from WWE, Jack has distanced himself from wrestling, although he found a new path in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, BKFC. However, his return to the sport seems unlikely, and his wrestling career appears to have come to an end. On June 22, 2014, Michael Elgin achieved his greatest feat by becoming the Ring of Honor World Champion, defeating Adam Cole at the Best in the World event. By that point, Elgin had become one of the biggest stars in the independent scene, with a successful career in companies like CZW, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, IWA Mid-South, and DDT in Japan. His ROH victory represented the pinnacle of a journey spanning over 10 years, making him one of the most sought-after unsigned wrestlers. Through ROH's partnership with New Japan, Elgin signed with the Japanese company in 2016 and quickly won major titles, including the IWGP Intercontinental Championship after defeating Kenny Omega, solidifying his place among the best. However, Elgin's trajectory took a negative turn in 2017. Allegations of misconduct involving one of his trainees and disparaging comments about his partner Jeff Cobb surfaced, tarnishing his reputation. Despite winning the Never Openweight Championship in 2018, his time in New Japan became uncomfortable, and in 2019, he was released from the company. In 2020, new allegations emerged, including sending explicit photos to a woman, which resulted in his suspension and release from Impact Wrestling. After 2 years of inactivity, Elgin returned to Pro Wrestling Noah in 2022, but was once again removed from shows due to legal issues in Japan, including a theft crime. His career, marked by both great achievements and scandals, left an indelible mark on the wrestling industry. In an even more controversial scenario, Jon Rance, another wrestler with a dark past, had a lackluster career until being arrested in 2010 on charges of child sexual abuse. Convicted, he was added to the offender registry in 2014. Despite his conviction, Rance returned to wrestling after just 7 months and founded the Team Vision Dojo, a training school in Orlando, where he continued to train minors, sparking enormous controversy. The school, though considered one of the best for training, was criticized for ignoring the criminal history of its founder. The situations of Elgin and Rance raise ethical questions and highlight the shadows still lingering over the wrestling world. After all, why do figures with such a history remain active? Travis Banks, a New Zealand wrestler who began his career in 2009, quickly made a name for himself in the New Zealand wrestling circuit, competing for promotions like New Zealand-wide Pro Wrestling and Impact Pro Wrestling. In 2012, his career took a major leap when he was invited to wrestle in Japan for 0-1, which opened doors for him in the United States. However, Travis never managed to debut for major American promotions, returning to New Zealand in 2016. It was then that Banks made a decisive move to restart his career. He moved to the United Kingdom, where his journey took a new turn. There, Travis wrestled for renowned promotions such as ICW, Southside, Progress, Rev Pro, TNT, and What Culture Pro Wrestling, Defiant Wrestling, where he gained widespread recognition. Although not a huge personal fan of Travis, it cannot be denied that he became one of the biggest names in the British wrestling scene, winning major titles and being one of the top wrestlers slated to work with foreign talents. In 2018, Banks was at the peak of his career, holding both the Progress World title and the Defiant Internet title simultaneously. His rise caught the attention of WWE, which signed him to join NXT UK. There, Travis gained visibility and was booked for live NXT shows in the United States. His career seemed to be on the rise, but in 2020, during the Speaking Out movement, his journey took a drastic turn. Wrestler Millie McKenzie accused Travis of emotional abuse, revealing a secret relationship when she was just 17 years old. McKenzie provided evidence, including disturbing screenshots of messages, and Travis responded with an apology. He claimed the relationship was consensual and that they both apologized for its end. However, the accusation and circumstances led to his release from WWE. Although his WWE career was abruptly cut short, Travis Banks' story did not end there. In recent years, he has remained active in the underground wrestling scene in Mexico, remains now as a reflection. What does the future hold for Travis Banks? Sexy Star is a renowned Mexican wrestler, active since 2006, who built her career in AAA, the top wrestling promotion in Mexico. She quickly stood out, becoming one of the company's top female stars. In 2014, her career took an international leap with the arrival of Lucha Underground, an innovative show that blended wrestling with cinematic drama elements, set in an underground lucha libre league in Los Angeles. Sexy Star was among the Mexican wrestlers recruited for this show, gaining visibility with American audiences. In Lucha Underground, Sexy Star gained popularity, especially by competing in intergender matches, a distinctive feature of the promotion. Her greatest moment came in the third season when she won the Aztec Warfare Battle, defeating 19 other wrestlers to claim the Lucha Underground Championship, the league's most coveted title. Although she lost the belt in the following episode, this victory solidified her significance in the promotion and elevated her status in wrestling. However, her rise took a sudden turn in 2017. During AAA's Triple Mania event, Sexy Star defended the women's title in a four-way match against Hamada, Lady Shani, and Rosemary. The match ended in controversy. After winning, Sexy Star applied an armbar on Rosemary and refused to release the hold even after the match was over, taking the incident to a real physical level. This act sparked an outcry in the wrestling community. Prominent wrestlers, such as Cody Rhodes, spoke out against her, stating they wouldn't share a locker room with her. The response was swift and severe. Sexy Star was banned from multiple promotions, lost contracts, and did not return to Lucha Underground. Today, her legacy has been passed on to another wrestler in AAA who now performs as Sexy Star, while the original remains distant from the major wrestling leagues. The legendary Hart family is considered one of the greatest dynasties in wrestling, with iconic names like Bret Hart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, British Bulldog, Natalia, and of course, the controversial Teddy Hart. Teddy stands out in the family not for success, but for being the black sheep of the lineage. His actions and decisions ruined what could have been a brilliant career, and you'll soon understand why. After completing his training at the famous Hart Dungeon in 1998, Teddy Hart became the youngest wrestler to sign a developmental contract with the WWF at just 18 years old. Sent to train with the legendary Dory Funk Jr., he seemed destined for success. However, 4 years later, he was released without making a notable appearance in the company. His difficult temperament quickly became a defining feature of his career. Though cut from WWE, Teddy remained active, appearing in Ring of Honor and TNA in 2003. But his impulsive behavior soon landed him in trouble. On November 1st, 2003, after a scramble match at a Ring of Honor event, Teddy repeatedly performed acrobatic jumps from the top of the cage onto other wrestlers without permission, irritating his colleagues and even vomiting beside the ring. As a result, he wrestled only twice more in Ring of Honor and faced a similarly short run in TNA after conflicts with CM Punk. In the following years, Teddy was hired and fired by various promotions, including Jersey Opera Wrestling and AAA. In a brief return to WWE, he left before reaching the main roster, this time without any issues with his attitude. He found a more stable period in Wrestling Society X until the show was canceled. In 2017, he returned to MLW, where he made a name as the middleweight champion and a member of the new Hart Foundation. However, in 2019, he was once again released due to disciplinary issues. Since 2020, Teddy Hart has nearly disappeared from wrestling, but that's not the only controversy in his life. His legal troubles are a significant part of his story, and what you'll see now is a portrait of talent overshadowed by extreme actions. In December 2014, Teddy was sought by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police on sexual assault charges involving 2 women. The charges were dropped in 2016. In 2017, he was arrested for DUI, fleeing police, and vehicle theft, though these charges were later dropped. In 2020, Teddy was arrested for drug possession in Virginia, and that same year, he was arrested 3 times, including on an assault charge against his then girlfriend, Maria Manick, in an incident where another wrestler had to intervene with a gun. This series of scandals drove Teddy Hart away from professional wrestling. In his last match in December 2020, he was already effectively blacklisted from the industry. And for those wondering if his troubles have ended, in 2021, Teddy was again arrested, accused of injuring a person with a disability, fleeing from police, and drug possession. Joey Ryan began his wrestling career in 2000, competing in small independent promotions in the California scene. His big break came when he co-founded Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, PWG, one of the largest independent wrestling companies in the US. With stints in Ring of Honor and TNA, and titles like the World Championship and the Battle of Los Angeles, he seemed destined for success. However, after years of wrestling, his career entered a stagnation phase, failing to achieve the major spotlight he had hoped for. It was then that Ryan made a bold decision to reinvent his character to revive his career. In 2015, while wrestling for DDT, a Japanese promotion known for its comedic and eccentric style, Joey did something that would change his trajectory forever. During a match, he used his private area to perform a suplex on his opponent, and the moment went viral. This sexualized move became part of his style, transforming him into one of wrestling's most polarizing figures. His attacks involved wrestlers, female wrestlers, and even fans, sparking a massive divide between supporters and detractors. His public rivalry with Jim Cornette and Twitter discussions only intensified this polarization. While some defended Ryan's creative freedom, others saw his style as a threat to the integrity of wrestling. However, reactions to his behavior changed dramatically in 2020 when he was named in the Speaking Out movement, which exposed abuse in the industry. At least 17 women accused him of sexual harassment and abuse, with other wrestling figures like Joey Janela and Ryan Nemeth corroborating the allegations. Despite publicly defending himself with a lengthy statement and video, Ryan's reputation was irreversibly damaged. His contract with Impact Wrestling was terminated, his promotion shut down, and his wrestling career ended. After a failed return attempt in 2021, Joey Ryan did not return to the wrestling scene, and his story, which started with so much potential, ended in a stain that pushed him permanently away from the ring. Patrick Eddie Clark, better known as Velveteen Dream, was one of the standout performers in the 2015 edition of WWE Tough Enough, a reality show where the winner earned a WWE contract. Despite his impressive performance and clear wrestling skills, Patrick was shockingly eliminated, a move considered unfair by many. However, his talent didn't go unnoticed, and he soon signed with WWE, beginning his journey in NXT. As Velveteen Dream, Clark created a character inspired by an extravagant prince, which quickly gained popularity. However, his career suffered an unexpected blow. In 2020, serious allegations surfaced, accusing Velveteen Dream of sending the inappropriate photos to underage individuals on Instagram. The situation caused a huge online backlash, with many fans shocked and disappointed. During the Speaking Out movement in June 2020, more accusations emerged, further tarnishing his image. Despite this, he continued to appear on TV, but public support waned, and his screen time became inconsistent. After a long absence from the ring, Dream was eventually released from WWE in May 2021, after a 5-month hiatus. In his defense, he denied the accusations, explaining his silence as an attempt to preserve his character and the kayfabe of wrestling. Since his departure, Velveteen Dream has not returned to the ring and has been involved in a controversial online rivalry with EC3, who accused him of filming people in bathrooms. Alberto Del Rio joined WWE in 2010 with a 10-year career already established, having worked for promotions like AAA and CMLL. His rise was meteoric. He defeated Rey Mysterio in his first feud in just 6 months, was in a world title match at TLC 2010. Although he lost that opportunity, Del Rio won the 2011 Royal Rumble, securing a title shot at WrestleMania, which also slipped through his fingers. However, WWE didn't give up on him, and he went on to win the Raw Money in the Bank contract, and at SummerSlam 2011, defeated CM Punk to claim the WWE Championship. Del Rio's career seemed to be on the rise, but turmoil soon took over the title scene. Despite some reigns as World Heavyweight Champion, Del Rio was released from WWE in 2014 after an incident involving a worker who made a racist joke at his expense. However, his return to the company came in 2015 with the acquisition of the United States Championship. What seemed like a new prosperous phase, however, quickly turned into scandal. In 2016, he began a relationship with Paige, which led to conflicts with WWE and Paige's family, who didn't support the engagement. Everything culminated in 2017 when a domestic violence incident at the Orlando airport led to an investigation, but no formal charges were filed. But Del Rio's controversies didn't end there. In 2020, he was arrested on charges of assault and sexual harassment against his girlfriend, and later formally accused of kidnapping and sexual assault. Although the charges were dropped in 2021, his name remained tarnished. Currently, Del Rio wrestles in Mexico, outside of WWE, and is banned from major US promotions. Even with attempts to return, it seems that he will never be back in WWE. Lars Sullivan was signed by WWE in 2014, joining the Performance Center and debuting in NXT in 2017. He quickly gained attention with a significant push, defeating top names in NXT and gaining prominence in handicap matches. His most notable moment came at NXT TakeOver, New Orleans 2018, where he participated in a ladder match for the North American title, won by Adam Cole, which received a 5-star rating from Meltzer. This put Lars on a level where, curiously, he and Jack Swagger accumulated more 5-star matches than Kurt Angle. Something surprising, right? In May 2020, old posts from Lars on bodybuilding.com were exposed, revealing racist, and homophobic comments, along with attacks on WWE staff, including Stephanie McMahon. This exposure caused massive backstage backlash, and despite his apologies, WWE continued its investment in him until an injury sidelined him for about a year and a half. Sullivan's return in October 2020 was short-lived, with 2 matches before being quietly released from WWE 3 months later. During this time, it was revealed that he had starred in gay porn, adding to the controversy, especially considering his previous homophobic remarks. To top it off, he was exposed for sending inappropriate messages to a woman, ending his WWE career in a highly controversial manner. Ted DiBiasi Jr., son of the legendary Ted DiBiasi, joined WWE in 2008 and quickly won the World Tag Team Championship alongside Cody Rhodes, with whom he would form Legacy, a faction of second and third generation wrestlers, alongside Randy Orton. The group was an immediate success. Rhodes and DiBiasi won the tag titles twice, while Orton became a 3-time WWE champion. However, in 2010, Legacy came to an end after a decisive match at WrestleMania 26, where Orton emerged victorious. While Randy Orton continued to shine as one of WWE's biggest stars, and Cody Rhodes began his solo rise, Ted DiBiasi Jr. struggled to find major success. He wrestled a few more times in 2013 and 2016 to 2017 before retiring for good. Ted DiBiasi Jr.'s name went quiet until May 2022, when he was unexpectedly involved in a corruption scandal. In 2020, the Mississippi State Auditor's Office arrested 6 people for embezzling federal funds, leading to the discovery of a scheme involving $94 million diverted through nonprofit organizations. Among those involved were the DiBiasi family, who fraudulently received money intended for assistance programs for low-income families. In September 2022, John Davis, the director of the Mississippi Department of Human Services, was sentenced to 90 years in prison for conspiracy and government fraud. Bill DeMott began his wrestling career in WCW, where he stood out between 1995 and 2001, winning the United States Championship twice. When WWE acquired WCW in 2001, DeMott transitioned to the company, where he stayed until 2007. During this period, his main role was as a jobber, with names like Hugh Morris and General Huge Erection, before consolidating his identity as Bill DeMott. After leaving WWE, he moved to the independent circuit and founded his own wrestling school, which operated until 2010. However, his true calling seemed to be as a trainer. In 2011, DeMott returned to WWE to train new talent. He became the lead trainer for Tough Enough, and took on the head trainer position at FCW, which would later evolve into NXT. When the WWE Performance Center opened in 2013, he continued in this role until 2015. It was in 2015, however, that his career as a trainer came to an abrupt end. Between 2012 and 2015, multiple serious allegations against DeMott surfaced, made by former students of Deep South Wrestling, FCW, and NXT. Allegations of harassment, bullying, racist and homophobic behavior, among other abusive practices, led to widespread public outcry, with the hashtag #FireBillDeMott dominating Twitter. Among the accusers were names like Kurt Hawkins, Luchasaurus, EC3, and even Kenny Omega. On March 6, 2015, DeMott denied the allegations but announced his departure from WWE, stating that he did not want to damage the company's image. Since then, he has permanently distanced himself from wrestling. Jimmy Havoc, a prominent figure in wrestling, made his debut in 2004. Training alongside talents like Zack Sabre Jr. and Fergal Devitt at NWK Hammerlock. From the start, he stood out as a deathmatch specialist, quickly becoming one of the biggest names in the genre in Europe, wrestling for renowned promotions like IPW UK and WXW. Havoc also participated in CZW's European Tournaments of Death in 2010 and 2012. His popularity grew over the years, with debuts in ICW and Progress Wrestling, establishing him as an icon of British wrestling. He also made appearances in Defiant Wrestling and Impact Wrestling, solidifying his position. The turning point in Havoc's career came in 2020. Alongside Kip Sabian, he formed the Superbad Squad, challenging Kenny Omega and Hangman Page for the tag team titles. However, this phase was marked by a major scandal. Jimmy Havoc was accused of abuse and assault as part of the Speaking Out movement. AEW took a firm stance, announcing that Havoc would undergo rehabilitation to address mental health issues and substance abuse. The company stated that Jimmy's status would be reevaluated after the treatment was completed. In August 2020, he was released from AEW and never returned to wrestling. The allegations were never addressed by him, and according to rumors, his appearance has changed drastically since then. Do you think we forgot anyone? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your friends. See you in the next one.